Senzu signing in with the review, and check the link in the description below and you guys will find the reaction. This is the review though. If you want to stay for the review, go right ahead, knock yourself out. Please leave a like or a dislike depending on what you thought about the video, or leave a comment as to why you disliked it. I'd appreciate that. I do appreciate honesty, so I would rather, if you guys don't like the video, I would appreciate if you guys maybe didn't like the video, only because again it helps me out. The most I appreciate is comments, because again it does help me develop and it helps me know what I'm doing right and whatnot, and I do appreciate that a lot. Now, I actually recorded a review for this episode, and I recorded a 16-minute review, and I forgot that my mic wasn't recording, and it was silent. Oh, fuck me in the asshole, damn it. It was terrible, man. I really hate that. I recorded a 16-minute review, damn it. Oh, I lost it. But for this episode, the first episode and last season of Attack on Titan itself, man, which is kind of sad to me. I don't know if the manga is still ongoing, but I hope that they're gonna do this good and they're not gonna rush it. But something tells me they're gonna rush it. I don't know if the manga has ended yet, but if it hasn't, then I really don't see this ending good. I really see this being rushed in the end somehow, but at least if they're gonna do that, then at least make it a really good ride up until the end, at least. Back to the episode now. So in the episode, we got to meet some new characters. We met the girl, we met the boy, the little boy with the blonde hair. I think his name is Colt. I'm not quite sure. I need to check up on it again, but I think his name is Colt. And we met, there's another taller one, a taller teenager right there. And he's the one, I think, who is prepared to take on the Armored Titan and have that embedded within him. Now, the girl obviously wants to cuck him out of his position. She's another valued soldier on top of that. I'm curious as to why she's valued and whatnot, what's so special about her. If it's just her talents or what it really is that's very valued about her. Now, this is clearly, the girl is clearly a character who I felt very conflicted on, because she seems like she's very, I don't want to say naive, she's a genius obviously to get where she's at, but she's someone who, she's a bit of a psychopath, and that's fine. I am too. But on top of being a bit of a psychopath, she just seems like she needs to develop. She needs some character development in terms of her perspective. She really doesn't seem like she values her life that much. For whatever reason, maybe she has a past, a traumatic past that maybe causes her to not really have as much of a value on her life itself, but how she lives it and the freedom within it. But the thing about it is, Attack on Titan is a very nihilistic, atheistic series. It's not really a series based upon any religion whatsoever. You might say there's something spiritual about it, but so far from where we're at, I doubt it. I think Attack on Titan doesn't really delve into the spiritual end of things. I feel like Attack on Titan is a series that people used to think that this is a completely scientific series. I believe that Attack on Titan is kind of delving into grounds that isn't really scientific, but it's more so based around, I don't want to say it's not metaphysical exactly, but it's close to metaphysical. It's like so cosmic that it's so cosmically based in terms of timeline. Time, I'm sure, is a heavy concept in this. Connection, whatever it may be, however that connection is established between the one who delivered, or at least the one who let Eren's father eat him. You know, he was connected because he remembered Eren, he remembered his friends, Armin and Mikasa. So there is some sort of connection. How that connection is established, I do not know. If it's a spiritual connection, if it's a metaphysical connection, maybe almost metaphysical. It's maybe not really interpretable by science standards, but it's still scientifical. It's not spiritual. Again, if you can really probably understand what I'm talking about. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I think for the most part, Attack on Titan is a pretty nihilistic series. It's kind of more atheistic, if you will, but it does delve into fantasy grounds nonetheless, just not divine grounds, if you will. In terms of giving meaning, I feel like a lot of the meaning given to their lives are given by themselves, if you will. Whether you want to consider that themselves lying to live, lying to help other lives, lives, lying to help other people live their lives and not blow their own brains out. It all a matter of perspective, but yeah, I feel like she doesn't really understand the value of her life, and whatnot. Because once you're dead in the Attack on Titan series, you're dead. There ain't nothing. It's before you were born. There's nothing. I feel like death is when you lose that freedom. If atheism is true, it's when you lose that freedom completely. You're no longer you. Your consciousness is gone. There is no freedom whatsoever in that. It is your life in which you have freedom, not death, by the atheistic standard. And I feel like that's the standard that we should judge Attack on Titan by, for the most part. Knowing that I'm a Christian, hopefully you guys get the perspective that I'm coming with. Again, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, so don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not throwing shade at atheism. I'm not doing that. I'm just describing it how I see it and how I think that Attack on Titan analyzes it and whatnot. Now, yeah, I feel like she definitely needs some character development. She's very unsympathetic, but I'm sure she would hold some, at least I would hope that she would hold some sort of sympathy if one of her actual friends died. Maybe the reason why she's so unsympathetic is because none of anybody who's been close to her has probably died. Or maybe they have, but that was in the past, and she's learned to emotionally block herself off. That's probably what's going on, probably. I don't know, it's hard to really tell at the moment from what we know. But I'm just curious about where her parents are. Same for all these other people. And this isn't Dora the Explorer, this isn't Naruto, where they're just sending kids into war, and the parents are like, oh, my little Jimmy is going to Afghanistan. No, he's so cute. Do you see him with his AK-47? Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Like, no, this isn't Dora the Explorer. This isn't Naruto. Them sending little 10-year-old yenins on missions with actual knives to stab people to death and kill them. Like, no, it's not going on. This is Attack on Titan. Parents do matter. So, and the parents' opinions do matter, and the kids are usually ripped from the parents. I'm sure that happens in this series, whether it happens behind the scenes or not. They're ripped from the parents, put to the army. The kids join the army. The kids have to join the army. That's just the way of life that they have to live, and even if the parents hate it. When the kids die in battle, the parents feel the weight. It's not always shown on screen, but we even see this with I think her name was Petra. If you remember, of course you guys remember Petra. I'm asking, do you guys remember? Like no, duh, Captain Obvious. Of course I remember. Yeah, Petra. She is someone who clearly embodied that example of how a parent, they're gonna feel the loss, and they didn't even show his reaction. And that's how they basically censored his reaction to her death. They low key censored it, so he had a terrible reaction, probably even worse than even in the first episode, when that other scout ended up presenting the arm to that mother. Yeah, which is basically her son's arm, and then saying he didn't get in. His death was basically useless. So it didn't serve any purpose whatsoever. He was just a casualty. That's all. Now, knowing this, I feel like she does need some development. Maybe her parents betrayed her. Again, I don't know. As for the boy, I'm conflicted here because, and I've heard before that Christianity does play a bit of a role in Attack on Titan. So maybe I'm not getting completely off topic, going into Christianity a little bit too there. But because I've heard, I don't know how true it is, but I mean we even seen that preacher. Or you guys remember the preacher in Attack on Titan? I'm sure you guys do. Captain Obvious. Yeah. So maybe I'm not really delving too much off the topic there, but the boy, I understand what he did when he took that soldier and he brought him back, and I like him a lot, but he also needs character development. He's a bit too much of a softie. He needs to grow some balls. His balls need to reach the toilet water. when he's taking a shit. And his balls need to grow a bit, to be honest. But can I really make that claim? Because according to Christianity, we have to love our enemies. I'm a Christian, as I've said before. So we have to love though I curse like a sailor. We have to love our enemies. No matter what they've raped your daughter, whether you consider that whether you're an atheist and you consider that stupidity, whether you consider that just childish, and whatever it may be. But that's kind of the basic law of Christianity that most Christians don't really abide by, because it's very, very hard to abide by that. I wouldn't. If someone raped my daughter, you best believe I'm killing their ass. I don't care. I'll ask for forgiveness, but I'm killing their ass. But yeah, we have to forgive our enemies, and we can't really hold grudges against them. By me disagreeing with the actions of this boy, I'm basically disagreeing with Christianity. Not Christianity, but I'm disagreeing with Christ. The core definition of what Christianity is. I'm not talking about, necessarily the lack of mercy between, maybe, at least what people consider the lack of mercy between God and his wrath amongst the people who some people maybe arguably deserve it or don't deserve it. Whatever you want to consider it, Christ is the embodiment of Christianity itself. Just as much importance as God has to Christianity or Yahweh, Yeshua has the same amount of importance to Christianity, the same exact importance, and the values that Christ taught are immense. They talk about forgiving your enemies, and again, by me disagreeing with the kid, I disagree with Christ over there, and I can't really do that. But the kid, from my perspective, in terms of the effectiveness of war and what they're trying to do, I think the kid does need to grow some balls, and he needs to understand what he's actually doing. You see, the black-haired boy, he's a translator more than likely, because he told him to translate what he was saying, that, you'll be fine and whatnot. But I don't think so. I think that man was going to die anyway, and he would have rather died. I feel like that soldier who he was taking care of was a racist soldier, but he's a soldier who's been through it all. He's been through a lot. And I feel like he's also another example of someone who just wants to give up. He feels like everything is just pointless at this point when he saw the enemy's power. I feel like his spirit was crushed, and all he was left with was just both hatred, remorse, grief, agony, physical agony, emotional agony, whatever you want to call it. My nose, that kind of hurt. I got a cold, guys. But yeah, so he cursed. He basically cursed out, the guy helping him. He verbally, not physically, but he verbally bit the hand that was feeding him, the kid. And the kid had innocent intentions, and he viewed him as a devil, a different life form. Yeah, they basically view them as GMO, genetically modified organisms. So, pertaining to that racism, the kid was a bit naive and gullible and whatnot for doing what he did for helping this guy, because he should have maybe understood the perspective of the man, and the girl did. That's why we saw the way she reacted to it, because she probably understands what it's like. So she's probably the character who's been through it. The boy likely maybe hasn't been through as much as the girl has, or the other people. The fat guy laughing, screw him, man, fuck him. I really don't like him. I don't wish death on him, but I don't like him at all. As for the soldier, let me just say this right now. If you're a racist person, I don't believe any racist people are deserving of death, unless they believe the race who they don't like deserves death. Then maybe like it's fair play. If you want to say they deserve death, I mean, go ahead. But because racism takes different forms and shapes and sizes and whatever, and sometimes it's not even racism, but it's like let's get watered down. It's basically like stereotyping, and there are stereotypes that are maybe not as harmful as others. Like if you want to say an Asian is better at math, whatever. I'm getting off topic here. Black people got big dicks, whatever, but like, racism or stereotyping, whatever, takes many different forms. Racism has no good forms. Stereotyping has debatably some good stereotypes that you can't really say that they're bad, you know. Some of them are a compliment, but racism is different, and racism is what's really going on here. And I don't believe a racist is really deserving of death unless they believe someone else is worthy of death. Now, he believes that they're worthy of death, so I do think he is worthy of death himself. The kids, even though they're fighting in war, I don't believe that they're per se racist. I really don't believe that. I believe they're just doing their job pretty much, and they're defending what they believe in, to be honest. Moving on after that, I'm sure Reiner isn't dead. I'm very positive Reiner isn't dead. And Reiner's going to be basically sacrificed, I think, and eaten, so that not so the girl can inherit him, but it was meant for you know, the teenage boy, but the girl is trying to cuck him out of his position of that. Again, she needs character development. She doesn't understand the value of her own life, I feel. But as for, and same for Reiner. Reiner, I feel like, is in a similar position, but he's in the opposite. He's basically on the same coin as the girl, because I know he's suicidal. We've seen it in the trailer. You know, he wanted to blow his own brains out. Again, a very nihilistic series, very nihilistic in its themes. And I feel like Reiner is another example of that. He's kind of embodying that nihilism and whatnot. Reiner himself, I'm sure, was not killed. I'm very sure. I highly doubt they're going to kill off a character like that. And we saw him wanting to blow his brains out in the trailer, so I'm sure he's going to show up again. But the characters think that they're. I mean, the children, including Zeke, I think that he is dead, because he took that bomb for Zeke big time. Zeke really needs to go thank him, but knowing Zeke, I highly doubt Zeke's going to do that. Zeke's going to likely view it as like, oh, you were just basically helping us out, like you shouldn't get thanked for that. You know, it's your responsibility to stand up for what's right, or what they believe is right. So I'm sure that Zeke's not going to thank him. It's just kind of like, yeah, you should have done that. Though I'm sure Zeke isn't really like an egotistical person where he's going to like actually verbally say it that way, at least. But I'm sure he feels that way, even though he's not necessarily egotistical from what I get of Zeke. At least what I speculate of Zeke, rather. I should be more clear with that. This isn't a black and white series. Obviously, what's going on now is that they're starting to delve into, how to say it, the grounds that I feel like a lot of animes have already delved into it. They're delving into typical action anime grounds. And what I mean by typical action anime grounds is that typical action animes like Tokyo Ghoul, Naruto to a certain extent, One Piece to a certain extent, a lot of other types of animes in general have this main theme of the cycle of hatred. Pain said it best. And they're certainly exploring that in Attack on Titan. Even Parasite. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, etc. It really does keep going on and on and on. It's just a typical theme amongst anime with the whole cycle of hatred. And Attack on Titan is no stranger to this. They weren't a stranger to it regarding the Atheist already, but regarding Eren. But now I guess we're starting to experience it, not just on a small scale where it's like, oh, well, here's Eren, but Eren maybe accounts for like, maybe not even 1% of the population. We're talking like 0.0001% of the population of humanoid Titans, and the Titans are their own species. But now we've learned that that's not how it is. The Titans are actual. You want to say that what do you want to say? They're people or not? But they're beings just as important as humans in that regard. So knowing this, what was I talking about? I actually forgot my whole point. But regarding Reiner, he does need to certainly develop in that aspect. He's depressed. He wants to blow his own brains out. because of all of these different things traumatizing him his past. He didn't do that this episode, but again, we saw it in the trailer. Oh yeah, I remember now. Zeke, yeah, he's not gonna go, but he's not gonna go thank Reiner for that. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna do that whatsoever. And it's sad because if you think about it, with the meaning of life, basically, I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen even went over that theme too. Basically, they're lying to themselves about the meaning of life to keep pushing on, if you will. Like, think about that for a second. They're basically lying to themselves about their purpose and meaning, about them even having one, for the purpose of continuing on. Like, man. And the cycle of hatred, I'm sure, won't end. I'm sure Attack on Titan is a series that's going to have a bittersweet ending. I just don't see it having a good ending. I see it having a bittersweet, very, very bittersweet ending. Or humanity might lose or might not lose, but yeah. As long as Eren makes it out, and so does Mikasa and Armin, and Levi too, because I love Levi. I love my boy Levi, and a bunch of the other crew members too. As for what else was there in the episode pertaining to the new Titans who we've come to know now, we're starting to meet new breeds, if you will, new breeds of Titans. And another interesting thing is that humans are fighting humans now. This is a series that it has progressed in time, and now they're at a point at which humans aren't fighting the Titans so much anymore. Humans are now fighting against humans. The Titans are the least of their worries now. You know, when I saw the Titans come out, I was like, oh shoot, they're bringing the big weapons out. Just for me to be like, you know, oh shoot, oh well, okay then. You know, they've technologically advanced to the point where they're having anti-Titan bullets and bombs and missiles and whatnot, and it was able to really put Reiner himself through the gutter. Like, think about that. Just one shot to probably like the really hard parts of his armor was able to really do some damage. I'm sure they also have studied Titans, and they probably know about the weak points probably of the armor Titan. I'm sure that it's not foreign to them. It's not foreign knowledge, but so they probably know where to strike to cut off the body, to cut off certain body parts easier. But yeah, they're advancing in knowledge and technology, and they were blowing those Titans. I mean, just even the small Titans, even before this part, were getting owned by those small cannons. Now they're bringing like, you know, the real heavy guns now to really put, you know, to really put these Titans through the ringer. So yeah, they're definitely going to go explore that theme of the cycle of hatred. Those Titans look mad derpy, man, when they were falling from the heavens. They really did look derpy. Anyway, I guess that kind of wraps up everything that I felt necessary to talk about. I'm sure there's a lot more that I had. I had a perspective that I was leading somewhere, and then it just went boop off into the cosmos. Off into the cosmos. You know that meme of like the astronaut? You know, the astronaut, and it's like, it was always this way. You know, like I'm basically imagining that with my thought, you know. It's just putting the gun to my thought, pretty much. But yeah, guys, so I guess that ends the video. If I have another idea about this, I'll probably upload a video on it. If not, I'll just shut up and be quiet. Anyway, leave a like or a dislike depending on what you thought about the video. Do check the link in the description down below. If you dislike the video, please leave a dislike. I appreciate honesty, and if you leave a dislike, I'd appreciate it again if you left maybe a comment as to why you disliked the video. That wraps it up. Hope you guys take it easy, stay awesome, and peace out.
Until we meet again, stay gold.